Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 240 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Happy birthday, America.
USA.
I saw on my my time hop a few days ago, it was 7 years ago when USA was doing decent in the World Cup, and I posted this picture on Facebook that said, it was just a bald eagle, and he was like, "Stand back, world, the soccer ball champs have arrived." I was like, yes. We don't play football. We play soccer ball.
So, local town fireworks were two
Amazing.
nights ago.
Yeah. We're recording this Monday, July 5th. So Sean is very in theme.
I'm a day late.
He
I'm
didn't want me to say that, but I'm saying it.
So last year they got canceled.
That's correct.
2 years ago, I realized I was in Italy for 4th of July.
Really?
So it's been 3 years since I've been here for the fireworks, and maybe 3 years since I've seen fireworks in general, because I don't know when else.
But I'm sure you heard them last year because people could still buy them.
Well, but it wasn't the official
wasn't real
town.
fireworks.
Yeah. But awesome fireworks show. It was so cool. Like, I'm with you. I feel like I've kind of grown
I've
out
never
of
liked
fireworks.
They're
They're
fine.
Yeah, but it was
For me,
so
it was
cool.
it was just because last year obviously sucked.
Yeah.
So it was just seeing them, and like Sean was saying, the local fireworks show here a couple nights ago was amazing. I was just like,
It was pretty
this
cool.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Good to have it back. Good to get back to
Absolutely.
normal. But if this is the first time you're seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you only listen to us on audio services, it's going to be one of those. That's fine as well. Just give us a 5-star review, thumbs up, or whatever your service does. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, just like our producers, Steve Appleton, Antsu, Vernon Slayton, and Dustin Downstead, as well as our affiliates, James Solar, Sarah Solar, and welcome to the family, John Tingley.
Son.
So, I was going to call this episode Welcome to the Family anyways, because of what we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Even
but it
more
just makes it
pertinent
even
now.
more perfect. So, also, with John joining us as a $10 a month Patreon supporter, that means we are now at technically $49.98.
Yeah, close enough.
When Patreon takes off their fees off the top and everything. But doesn't matter. What that means is Versus is back. We're going to do a Versus episode this month, later in July. Look for that. We got to figure out what we're going to do. I have an idea of what I want to do.
If you have suggestions, send them in.
If you for Versus, if you haven't been here for a while, we like to do SNES versus Genesis or sequels. We
1 versus 2, 2
Yeah.
versus 3, whatever.
We have an idea for a SNES versus Genesis versus episode that I can't believe we hadn't already done, but I think it would be a lot of fun. But if you have any suggestions, let us know. Yes, Sean.
So this would be a good time, or as good a time as any, to bring up. I don't know if it's any of y'all that are watching right now, but if it is, shout out.
Wow. That doesn't taste like a limerita.
We get a lot of feedback still to this day on our Contra Hardcore versus Contra 3 Alien Wars,
Which also
versus
for obvious reasons, I kind of want to take that episode down because of who's on it.
Yeah.
But
we said, I'm guessing by the responses, Contra 3 won, and I stand
think it was
by
even
it.
close.
To me,
we would have
Contra
scored it the
3
same way if it was me and you. Yes.
To me, Contra 3 is the best run and gun game
Correct.
ever, hands
Period.
down.
Period.
A lot of y'all respond and let us know that that's stupid and that Contra Hardcore is apparently the greatest game ever. Now, we are Genesis fanboys,
And
so
even we don't think
we
that's true.
welcome, yay, wahoo, go Genesis.
Wahoo.
I'm all for it. I don't agree. I think Contra 3
Definitely
is
not
the
Super C.
best run and gun game
Ever.
ever.
I think it's when it comes to a run and gun game, I think it's perfect. I don't
Yeah.
think Contra Hardcore is.
Contra Hardcore
I'm not saying
has
it's
a
bad,
lot going for it. It is
but
a
when you put it
very
up
good
against
game.
the GOAT,
It's probably top 10. It's easily top 10, maybe top
It might be
5
top
Genesis
5.
games. Yes.
Well, no, I thought you were going to say shoot 'em ups. I would.
No, Genesis games.
Gunstar, we're going to do I cannot wait to do this top 10. We need to do it as a real video. We talked about this. Gunstar, Sonic 2, maybe Sonic 3, Hyperstone, Senti, Beyond Oasis, Hardcore, Bloodlines.
So it's definitely top 10.
It's top 10.
Maybe
easy.
top 5.
It's top 10 for sure.
But you don't got to be mean about it. We welcome the feedback. And like I said,
I'm just so whenever a comment comes in on that, I'm like, I don't know what we've missed because I was not on that episode. It was Sean and Ernie, who we are no longer affiliated with, thank God. But everything y'all said, I went back and watched it not that long ago. Once we started getting some more comments and stuff, I was like, what are we? I'm like, no, y'all nailed it. I think it was a clean sweep. I'm pretty sure it was presentation, gameplay, and replay value. I'm pretty sure it was a clean sweep.
The only thing I could see maybe going Hardcore's way is replay value because of the branching. Like,
yeah,
well, I don't know if we scored it that way or not, but presentation and what's the other one? Gameplay?
Mm-hmm. Replay value, yeah.
I mean, Contra 3,
it's perfect.
Yeah, like
first.
I mean, you can diss the scoring system, whatever all you want, but the way we laid it out, those three, at best
it's 2-1.
It's 2-1.
Yeah,
and yeah,
at
we
worst,
may have scored it a clean sweep.
At worst, it's 2-1. Yeah.
Whatever. But we welcome the views and the feedback, so thank you.
Yes. So Versus is coming back. We got an idea. We're thinking of SNES versus Genesis. I think I said that, but it's been a while now. It's been a while. So let us know if there's something you want to see. We're probably going to record it. I would think we'd record it 2 weeks from now. That'll give me a week to edit it and get it up. That's what she said. Because I think next week we got to do 2 more Zelda episodes to stay ahead. Then we can do Versus, and then we can do the bonus episode the week after that.
Sounds right.
Yeah. My dogs are going crazy. I'm glad to be up here. Also, if you like merch, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2player-co-op.
This is a long opening.
That was a long opening. But I mean, it was a good opening. I like that. I like it very much.
I like it very much.
So yeah, we said we're recording this on July 5th. Happy birthday, America. One of the things that I love the most, I see it in my time hop on every July 4th, not today, but yesterday. It was 9-10 years ago. Bill Simmons tweeted that July 4th is like I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's like a slow trot around the bases after you hit a grand slam in the bottom of the ninth to England.
So,
but I love England.
I've got a guy on my team who's from the UK. We have a team call tomorrow. And I'm trying to figure out, can I,
You can jab him.
Like, I wonder, like, I don't think any of them take
We're
it
all
that
good
seriously.
now. We're all good now.
Yeah,
I joke about it with the people on my team from the UK.
Like, I kind of want to say to the team, like, hey, happy 4th of July, everyone. So-and-so. Don't want to drop any names. No hard feelings. I think that's
you lost a
kind
long
of
time
funny.
ago. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Sean.
Yes.
What have you been playing this week?
Same thing you have, but I want to hear about. Well, I got plenty to say too, but let's start with you.
Do you want me to do the other game first?
I don't know what the other game is.
Super Destronaut DX 2.
Ah, sure.
I now have Platinums 63 and 64 because Super Destronaut DX, which was an amazing. I will say, of all the cheap Platinums that I get, first off, this was $5. It's not like it was $1, but it's crossed by PS4, PS5. They're not doing any more Vita games because the Vita is dying. But Ratalaika Games, they do all the easy. Let me just make sure nothing's breaking. They do all the easy platinums and everything. But Super Destronaut DX was one that I actually enjoyed. Not like Iron Snout, where it's like meow, 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 meow. You're a pig and stuff like wolves are just running from each side, and it's just like a flash game. Horrible. This is a fun kind of asteroid, not asteroids, kind of like a Galaga-ish for the new age shooter. And this is just more of that. I got 2 platinums in about an hour and 10 minutes, but it is so fun. It's just, I mean, look, you can look it up right now while I'm talking about it, but it's just old school arcade shooter, score chasing, lots of different modes, completely worth. You buy the PS5 version, obviously you get the PS4 for free.
Are there 7 different modes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 6, but the 6th, why?
Mode 7.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 7 modes doesn't make me think mode 7. So there's 5
modes?
arcade modes.
Okay.
And then there's the challenge mode, which you got to get through 5 levels in each world. And it's like this level you only have 50 bullets, and every bullet kills an alien. Then there's other where they do other modifiers like, well, you've only got 30 seconds to kill everything, and that took me like 5 minutes to get through that. It was tough. Yeah, it was rough. But it's super fun. You're the platinum chaser now.
I am, but I'm not.
When I
want my
this,
platinums to count.
When I saw this on PSN profiles, I was like, Super Destronaut DX 2. I was like, no freaking way. Are you kidding me? And then I was like, bam, bought it. Done. Got it. 2 more platinums. 64 platinums. Maybe I will get to 75 this year. But what I want to talk about, what we've both been playing, is that the only thing you've been playing?
That's all I've played. Yeah, I can't stop.
Returnal.
Won't stop.
Returnal. So I talked about it last week. I hadn't played it a lot, and I actually didn't get to play it a lot this week because we had friends in town. I just didn't want to be a lonely nerd playing in the front room and leaving them. But when I got a minute here or there, I did do one run this day, another run this day. I probably did 3 runs this week. And these are the notes that I wrote down because, as you know, I like to take notes. Your platinums are worthless. James, I got 64, and I beat Sigrun. Best platinum ever, for me at least. My platinums are very worthless. I mean, very worthwhile. Damn it. Here are the notes that I took after the last time we podcasted. First note, this game is addicting. But I should have wrote addictive, right? That always
I think it's the
confuses
same.
me. Okay. And then I did this week get the sword, which I didn't think I was even going to get that. So
You've
I wrote,
gotten it since we last recorded?
yeah. I wrote getting the sword and learning how and when to use it and who to use it
Changes
against
the game.
opens up the gameplay.
I would say the hookshot does even more so.
Well, I may never get that.
You will.
But knowing that I can get like the basic bad guys that are like walking around, the guys that are the land walkers with their blue orbs, if you can get up to them, it's just one.
Yeah.
A lot of the enemies, I assume, at least in Biome 1, they're one hit, bam.
A lot of them in the game are either one-hit kills or at least one-hit, melee hit stuns. And then you get, like, Groot, the green guys, you can, like...
Well, once you told me
melee
that,
to stun, you just...
once
and
you told
kill
me
them
that,
before they wake up.
I was like, okay, let me just shoot this guy, dash, get over to him, and then pop, and then
then just boom,
charge,
boom, boom,
recharge,
boom. Yeah.
recharge.
I will say, I don't know if you'll beat this game.
I will not beat this.
But I have had more difficulty with Frike, or however you say his name.
Freaky
Friday, than any other boss by far.
Well, that makes me feel good, at least.
I beat boss number 2 on my first try, boss number 3 on my first try, boss number 4 on my second try.
Look at
and
you,
then there
big,
was
fancy
no
whatever.
there was no boss number 5.
Right.
I mean, boss number 5 is Biome 6, and I haven't gotten to him yet.
Wait,
There's no boss in Biome 5.
but you've gotten to 6.
I've gotten to 6.
But you haven't gotten to the 6.
I haven't
boss.
gotten to the boss yet.
The next thing I wrote, wait.
If you give up on this game, I
don't think I'm going to.
I think it'll be Biome 5. The one without the boss. 2, 3. 2's not bad at all. 3 can be a little tricky, but James has already gotten to the boss once and lost.
We know he sucks.
4 is just kind of like Biome 1, but a little bit more difficult, but not really. The setting is very
James,
similar.
I'm joking.
It's closed in areas, whatever. 4 is not that bad. 5 is tough. Okay. It's by far the toughest. So in 5, you need to get 3 pieces of a key to open up the boss door. And
which takes you to 6.
Oh, yeah, it's not even a boss door. I guess it's just the thing that
but
lets
then
you get
keep it
to 6.
once you get them or no?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But...
oh, God.
So I got 2 of the 3 pieces, and then I died trying to get the third. I'm like, all right, well, at least I've got 2. Now I can just go straight for the third one. No. You need to get all 3 of them on one run.
And you have to start at 4.
And you start at 4. If you quit on this game, it'll be Biome 5. But you can at least get there.
But I feel like if I get to 5 and there's only 6, I'm gonna kill myself trying to beat this game.
I think you can do it.
My next note said that this RNG is getting annoying. Finding weapons, the level of the weapons, the items. I can't find an effing house key. And then I wrote, I'm not sure how much more I can take of this. And then I did a run today. And I was texting Sean. I was like, oh my God, it's happening. I got a level 3. Now, this is not a great weapon. No, it's a level 2. A level 2 carbine. And it had the tracer, like the green things that go towards the enemy.
Your alt fire?
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's good. I got a whole bunch of integrity because I was finding the resin things because I was keeping my health up for most of it. So every time your health is up, if you find a resin, it's actually a resin
it counts
thing.
As, yeah.
So I got up to 130, 140%. I was like, man, I'm going to do this. And then I went into an optional room and I actually finally, after 35 or 36 deaths, I'm not sure how many, I don't even want to check, in over 6 hours. By the way, most of those deaths, if you saw the video we posted last week, my stream of it, I was like, I don't know how to play this game. I'm just friggin' pissed off, and I'm running into rooms and I'm shooting, and I don't care. I died so many times before I actually knew what I was doing, so whatever. Sean's only died that many times in 6 biomes. I finally found the friggin' housekeeping. Once I got that, I was like, okay, this is it. Because you told me, like, if you get to the house and you're having a good run, you're going to beat it. I was like, this is it. So I finally went to the house. I went through there. The only thing I regret is I looked out the window because I was like, I don't want to miss whatever the thing is that helps me revive. So I went up. I looked at the stuff downstairs. I saw the picture. I saw the notebook and stuff. No spoilers. And then I went upstairs and I looked out the window and I saw the thing and I was like, crap. And then I was like, whoa. But I saw I could have gone down the hallway and opened up the door up there, but I didn't do it. So I don't know if I missed something important.
For the most
story-wise.
part, I doubt it.
Okay.
For the most part, all the house things,
Is
they
the whole
make
point-
you do some things before you can do the thing that will end it.
Okay.
So there may be some stuff you missed, but you did everything. If they let you do the thing that ends it,
Yeah.
you did all the stuff they wanted
That's
you
important.
to, is the
Okay.
way I look at it. Yeah.
So anyway, I looked out the window. That ended it. I came up. I found the square thing that just vaporized. Is that going to make sense at some point to me?
It doesn't yet to me, but it's in every single one of them. You always find it. I think that's kind of the last thing you do. Whenever you find that thing and that, I think, is what kind of... Whenever you get that, it's kind of like, okay, now you've unlocked the thing that you can do to end that scene. That's like the second to last thing that you do, I guess. But I don't know what it means.
Let me tell my son to kill the dog. Hopefully y'all can't hear the dog barking. If you can, sorry. So I got through that, and I hate that I didn't go through that door, but then I walk out there, and I'm like, here's this item, and I scan it. I'm like, this is what I see you and James keep tweeting about. Okay, cool. I was like, fine, you know what? I don't have full health. I got like 75% health, even though I do have like 130% integrity. Dang it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I had an optional door. It was one of those where you walk in and it's just like teleport here and then to teleport here and then to teleport here and then to there. But I saw there was like 4 health things. I was like, I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to risk it because I want to get full health before I go to Freaky. Go in, go to the teleport, go up top. The music starts up. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be the bat guys that rush me. But it's not. It's the floaty guys with the blue orbs. I was like, okay, I got okay, I got this. Go on this next thing. I teleport to the next place. 5 of the bat things and Groot show up. And I'm like, go back.
So I warp, and then I warp back, and then I warp away, catch my breath, and then I warp back, and then I warp. I just basically keep going back and forth.
I killed a couple of the bats, and then I was like, oh my God, this cannot happen right now. And I don't want to waste my Link fairy thing. So I go back there. I warped away. I warped back. The bats were all around me. Like, oh, no. So then I was just running around. I got to one of those things where there's a yellow obelite thing and you fall through the floor.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. And it was all the purple plants. So I start hacking the purple plants. This. Malignant thing, whatever. Like, whatever. I'll take my... boom. Got more integrity. I'm like, okay, cool. Got that. And then I got some parasite that did something cool. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. Warp back out. Bats. I'm like, no. So I go to warp. But it's the one I got in the wrong warp, so I go back up, kill a couple of bats, go to the warp, go back to and I got out of there. Luckily, I gained some health and I lost health, so I got a little bit more than I came in. I said, "This is it. I'm going to the Upside Down Triforce. I'm going to go fight this guy." And I did record it. Hopefully, before this goes live, I'll post it on Twitter because I got my. Not that it's anything impressive, but I suck at video games, so I wanted to record it. And then I get to Freaky, and I do like that they give you an option of a weapon. I assume this is before every boss, or is it just Freaky?
I kind of want to say every boss, but I don't remember. It's most, if not all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get like one last weapon. They're like, do you want this one instead?
It was like I had my level 2 carbine with a tracker swarm, I think, alt fire, and it was like a level 2 pistol with like the grenade thing. I was like, nah, man, I got this. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is going to be it. Share, record, jump down, and I smoked him. I didn't even have to use my Link Fairy, and I was so... I kept texting Sean after it was over. I was like, I am shaking, and I can't... Like 5-10 minutes after I beat this guy, I was like, I'm still shaking.
The thing that I was
because I built it up because of that, because I get so in my head
so
that
the
I'm
thing
like...
that I was the most worried about, I'm like, you're definitely in good enough shape to beat him. But I'm like, oh, God, if you get there, knowing you, I'm like, if you get there and you get hit
when you
early
see the
on,
video,
if you get hit before you feel like you should or something,
I took a stupid hit from...
That's how you can just blow the whole thing.
I took a stupid hit from one of the red fireballs because the purple things are not that hard to dodge.
Is that the ones that just kind of like rain down? Yeah. I feel like I never tried to dodge them. I'm just like...
But when you get to his third life bar, that's when they come like up, and they come like in different sections and stuff. That's a little tricky, but it's like when they're floating down, I ain't worried about that. The problem was there was a couple times where you cannot... I'm so focused on him and his attacks, I have no idea where I am in that arena. And I end up like I dash
and you're
like
up against a
one
wall
foot into a wall, and I'm like, well, crap. Yeah. And you got to dash back, but so I was ready to write this game off and be completely done with it until today. And now I've beaten Biome 1. I don't know that I'll get any further than that.
To me, it drastically changes from here on out. Especially
for the
once
good
you beat
or the word bad.
For the best, yeah.
Okay.
Once you beat 2 and you get your hook shot, I think that changes a lot. Once you beat 2, you never have to go back to 2. You never have to fight.
Oh, I can go
the
from
boss.
1 to 3.
You can go directly from 1 to 3.
Because I got to one when I beat the boss in 1. I was like, okay, go to a teleporter. Let me look around. Okay, here's a door with a circle. Let me go there. I can't go to there yet. So I was like, oh, there's another door with a circle. Go there, and that's
the one that takes you to 2. The other one takes you to 3.
Okay.
Once you've been there. Once you have the hook shot, that's how you can get straight to 3.
Right.
So 2 is very open. It's a lot of like flying guys that are like, but they're like big flying guys, and they're like it's
Demon
all wide
Souls?
open, kind of like you can just like shoot, and you'll see them, and they'll like shoot a bunch of crap at you.
Okay,
no, they're just shooting crap at you. But as long as you just continue to run,
if they shoot
laterally,
stuff at me, I'm fine.
It all misses you, like you're fine.
Okay,
there's enemies in 2 that. I can't think of what they're called. The Stranded or not? No, that's Death Stranding. It's something with an S. I don't remember.
Psychosomatic, addict, insane.
But they kind of look like freaky, whatever. And they kind of fight like him. Like they've got dash attacks or whatever. But like, other than those guys, and you probably shouldn't have to face 1 or 2 of them. More than 1 or 2 of them. But like for the most part, the enemies there, they're not that bad. Like it's way wide open. So 3, it's kind of a mixture of wide open and somewhat enclosed, but not like Biome 1 enclosed. To me, Biome 3 is almost like a Zelda dungeon. Like it's kind of inside, and like a lot of it's like inside, but also outside, but not tight quarters. I don't know. There's an argument to be made that the first biome is the most difficult.
So before you get to how far you are, because that's all I've done, I stopped it. I was like, Sean, I just got to turn this off. I feel like I beat the game. Let's go to the chat. So James says the base enemies in Biome 3 are tough. John says rocket enemies are messing me up in 3.
Those
James
guys
says,
suck.
sing. The flying guys, yeah, got to 3 a few times and haven't went back to the game since. James says, I've gotten to the boss in 3 twice. I'm having a hard time getting to him. John says, at least it's a fun game. 2 is a lot easier. Then James says, I think the Biome 2 is overall easier than 1. Keep your distance from everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you have somehow gotten to Biome 6.
I've gotten to Biome 6.
And we are sure that is the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Then there's all the post-game stuff. But
no, but I
it's
mean,
the end of the story.
There's no, like, 7th boss
No,
or something.
it's 6.
Okay.
And I've gotten twice to what I assumed and later confirmed on YouTube is kind of like the last hurrah before the boss. And I've died there both times.
One of the arena lockdown, whatever things.
It's kind of one of those things, yeah.
But before you get into that, because every time I die, I'm just like, hold X. I don't care about the story.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into the story at all? Because I feel
most
like
of the story is told via the
logs.
little white recording things you can find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
and like the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This feels like a Housemarque game. Like, I remember when they were doing this, I was like, I don't know. I just want Resogun 2, whatever. We'll get to Housemarque here in a little bit. But I don't know. Like, I love story in single-player games. But this is one of those games where I'm like, while this doesn't seem, if you just look at it, like if you look at screenshots, whatever, it doesn't seem like a Housemarque game. When you play it, I'm like, it's still a Housemarque game. Like, their DNA is in this thing.
Yeah.
There's stuff everywhere. Every time I teleport and I go into voxels and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking Housemarque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just wonder if the story, again, I've beaten 1 out of 6 worlds, so I don't know much yet. But is the story good, or does it just feel like it's tacked on?
I feel like the story isn't that necessary. And I looked up on YouTube, or not YouTube, but like Wikipedia, and I stopped before I got to the end. But I'm like, let me go ahead and catch up on the story and see if there's stuff that I've missed, because I've skipped a lot. I'm like, I'm mostly playing it for the gameplay.
Right.
The story, I mean, it kind of adds. Bottom line is she's trapped on this alien planet, and
over and over and over again.
Just
And she knows she's in the loop. Yeah.
And that's kind of it. It's not one of those weird things where, ooh, she's
You're
not really
actually
there.
in the house.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, she's legit. I mean, it's exactly what it seems to be.
I will say the one thing that I thought was interesting was because, you know, every time, like, if you don't skip, when she comes back to life, she's like, okay, I'm going to do it this time. So she's aware that this is happening.
There is one cool thing that happens in the house scene of
3, I assume. Colin
No,
said
I think
something happens after 3 that's like, oh, man.
So the one I'm thinking of, so you have a house scene that you get to in the beginning, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can go back to the house after you beat the first boss.
Oh.
You can go back after you beat the second boss. You can go back after you beat
Is
the
that
third
the only
boss.
house?
Yeah. Well, it's also in Biome 4.
Okay.
So even once you starting from Biome 4,
But when
you go
get
past
a key,
the house.
it's a new house.
You never have to get the key again.
Oh.
But sometimes you'll go by and the light's on.
Okay.
And that lets you know you can enter again.
Okay.
So I think you go the first time after boss 1, after boss 2, after boss 3. So that's 4. I don't think there's anything after 4. And there is no 5th boss. So I think you don't get the 5th house scene until you get to Biome 6.
Okay. And you got that?
I got that.
Okay.
And then I think the last one is after you beat the game.
Oh.
There's something cool that you're like, oh, that's interesting. That happens at the 5th house scene that kind of makes it. It's
Makes
just kind of
sense.
cool. Yeah. But yeah. So today I was playing, and I feel like I'm in the middle of a pretty good run.
Oh, that reminds me of something.
First of all, I will say a lot of the weapons in this game are garbage.
Yes.
Like, to me, the
shotgun
3
sucks.
But the shotgun is one of the better ones. Like,
I would take the carbine any day over the stupid shotgun, even if it's a level 3 and I've got a level 1 carbine.
so
I'm
the
like, give me
hollow.
You
what's it
said I'll
called?
find that in the
hollow
next one.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the carbine. It's a rapid fire thing.
Okay.
That and the carbine are still my 2 favorite.
Okay.
The pistol is like not that far down.
Correct. Yeah. Especially if you find one that's like 3, 4, 5,
So
8,
there's
whatever.
there's a rocket launcher, which is kind of okay. It's not
See,
great.
that's why I wish you could hold 2 weapons.
Yes. It's not great against fast fly things.
Yeah.
But I eventually got one. So all the little, not the alt fire, but the secondary like attributes, I don't know what you want to call them,
Yeah.
to your weapons. Eventually you get like 4 deep. Or at least 3, maybe 4. Those play a big role later on, I will say. It drastically changes the game. I finally got a rocket launcher that has like full auto, so I can just be like, and just
What the hell?
and it seems pretty good. Now they still don't go very fast, so even if I unload a whole clip against like a flying enemy,
You might be dead.
I might miss all of them.
Yeah.
Because if it's moving, they're all going to miss.
Yeah.
And then once it stops, then you shoot again, you hit it, whatever. But I'm kind of liking it. That's the weapon I have now. I've got a decent amount of health. Like, everything's going pretty well. So we'll see.
So now that I've unlocked, I forget. I think you told me. Now that I've unlocked my second consumable, I keep that, right?
Yeah,
2
that's
slots?
you've got
Okay.
that. You eventually unlock a third. I don't think
Yeah.
you can ever get a fourth.
No, I think it's just 3. Yeah.
But the third, I think you get. I can't remember if I got that in biome 4 or 5. I think I got it before 6.
Okay, James says Bloober is awesome
I
against
don't
normal
like
enemies
it.
and at a distance, but sucks up close. I feel like that's the weapon that Colin said. Like once you get that, I cannot remember. I'd have to go back and listen. He said there's some weapon in this game that if you get it, it's almost like easy mode.
I don't like it because it's like you can either just toom, 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 or you can hold it and charge up, and it's like toom.
Yeah, but I feel like if you got 8
But, like, if
enemies
you got-
on screen, you're
yeah,
screwed.
you're screwed. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't even grab it anymore. I'm done with it.
One thing I do want to say before I forget why
Yeah.
my finger is up. I will say, I'm glad I got this at a discount, although Housemarque, I will say now after liking this game, they deserve my $70. I got it on sale for $50. One of the things that I do hate was that, like, I feel like this is when I get just pissed off at the gaming media and everything. This whole thing about, well, you can't save and these runs take 2 to 3 hours. I'm like,
Just rest mode.
but not even that. Like, I know I'm just in biome 1. When I finally beat it, it was a 30-minute run. That was it.
Yeah, but
the whole
definitely
save thing seems, at least so far, like it was so overblown.
But when you start having to traverse multiple biomes, you can easily go an hour, hour and a half in one
Yeah,
run.
if you're trying to get every room.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Okay.
But also, you just go to rest mode like you did in this one. You can come right back and pick it right back
I
up.
turned off all automatic downloads.
Now,
Yeah.
what I will say, luckily I wasn't in the middle of a run, I don't think, or if I was, it wasn't a particularly memorable one. But when I started playing today, it was like, oh, your game has updated, and the game had to close. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, there
I'm
goes
glad
that.
I wasn't in the middle of one. But yeah, so if you've got that turned off, yeah, you can absolutely take your time.
Yeah, I think I've got it off because today, yeah, when I turned it on today, for some reason, Returnal had closed, so I reopened it, and no one had touched the PlayStation. So whenever that happens, it kind of freaks me out. But when
I
turned
have
it
had the
on,
game. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before.
I've had
It's-
no crashes or any
I had
issues.
one crash.
Okay.
Now, it was in the beginning of also a pretty unmemorable run, so I didn't care. But, like, I went up and meleeed one of those turret things, and it was just... And then it was like, oh, it crashed.
If
Do you
you-
want to send the report? I'm like, okay. At least I was in the beginning.
Right.
Like, and it's only happened the one time.
If you
but
click restart cycle, does that count as a death? Do you know?
I don't think it does, because I think if it did, my death count would be higher. Because there was a lot of times where
'Cause
I'm
I-
like, this isn't going very well. I'm getting hit several times in the first
When
room.
that happens to me, I
don't
just
like
jump
this
off
gun.
a cliff and I jump off.
No,
and jump
I
off.
just do restart.
And then I finally
cycle.
saw restart cycle. I'm like, oh crap! That's why I've got 36.
So yeah,
37
I
deaths.
think my deaths would be higher.
Okay.
But it's not like I'd have 100 more, but I'd
Right.
probably have, I don't know, 10 or 15
Right.
more if those counted. But I don't think they count. I think I've gotten close enough to where I'm pretty sure I'm going to beat this game. And from what I've seen, beating the game is the hardest part.
Like I was telling you, I don't
Like,
think
I think
it
once
is.
I've beaten this game, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the platinum. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game, and from what I've seen, you don't have to. I thought you had to, like, level up all the weapons.
No.
You don't have to.
It's all about
You have to
finding
find all
certain
the...
things.
It's basically beat the game.
Yeah.
After you beat the game, there's some post-game content where there's, like,
Oh.
one new thing in
Okay.
every biome you have to find, which unlocks, like, the secret ending.
Okay.
But they're not necessarily difficult. It's just explore the whole biome and you'll probably find it kind of thing. Other than that, it's find all of the glyphs,
I got 5. I did unlock the first.
so there's
glyph.
those glyphs, the red
Yep.
things. There's the rooms with the tableaus,
Those
whatever.
are cool. Those are so cool.
And then there's
Like
all
the
of the
3D,
transmissions.
it looks like Alien,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So there's the glyphs, those
audio
things,
logs.
and then the audio logs. Find all of those in each biome,
And you'll get the platinum
and
if you
you've
beat
got
the
the
game.
platinum. Yeah. So,
But
I think
those-
if I can beat the game, I'm well past the hardest part. Maybe not the majority of the time. After that,
not
yeah,
past
it may
the
just
annoying
be
part. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I beat this game, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to get
You're
the
going
platinum.
to. I don't know that I'm going to be. I will say now that I can say officially, I didn't go all the way through with Bloodborne. Demon Souls is a cakewalk compared to this game. Cuphead is a cakewalk. Other than that damn effing robot boss, which we got through it, and I got through it. Getting through that first biome felt like fighting the robot boss every
Demon
run.
Soul, some of the bosses are really difficult, and some of just the actual enemies are difficult. But usually there's like a way to kind of sort of cheese it.
Yeah.
This game, it's like,
no, you
other than like hiding behind a door and like opening it up and shoot and then back up, like that kind of stuff. The other thing, and James, this may help you out if you don't know yet.
Well, he did say if he can beat the game, he's going to go for the platinum.
Yeah, if you can beat the game, you might as well at that point. You're invulnerable when you're hookshotting. So there are some rooms where there's like a lockdown, and they have like a hookshot point in the middle, and so you can just shoot the guy when he lunges at you. Just hookshot. As soon as you see him about to lunge, just hookshot. He can't touch you. You land on the opposite side of the arena.
Wait, I thought you said you are vulnerable.
You are invulnerable.
Oh.
So then you just shoot, like, so you aim at him, but make sure you're close enough to the thing where you've always got the T. So as soon as you hit, T. Triangle.
What is it? Is it triangle?
It's triangle, yeah. And so you just shoot, and as soon as you see him about to lunge you, hit triangle, zip over to the other side.
I'm so glad you're further in this than I am.
Yeah. So if you can beat this game, you might as well platinum it. You're so close to the platinum. If you can just beat the game, that you might as well if you get that far.
James says no. Cuphead is way harder. Cyber Shadow is harder too. If that's true, because I beat both those games. Now, granted, with Cyber Shadow, it took me 13 hours and 489 deaths, I think.
The difference is Cyber Shadow, you can die and pick up right where you died. This, it's like it's just again, like it's just emotionally, like mentally draining when you die sometimes.
I could see this being my game of the year at this point, but also I just wish it wasn't. I don't know what to think about Hades when I finally get to play it here in another month or so. Like, I know those runs aren't as involved, and it's 2D, not 2D, but it's isometric, whatever. Yeah. I don't know, this roguelike stuff, I don't like it. I hate going into the world. As much as I love this game, I want to just like...
I feel like I'm finally getting it.
I get
There's
it,
There's so much stuff that I did not understand now that I get now, and I understand how to, I don't know, make the best of everything. And yeah,
I get it, but still, like, I spent 6 hours in this first world. Now, I've memorized all the rooms pretty much because I'm like, oh, I remember this. I got to go down here, and then the bats are going to spawn. I do this, and then there's going to be a turret over here.
There's a lot of that. Like, and I was saying when I first started this game, or maybe even before I played it, thinking back to Enter the Gungeon or whatever, where I'm like, I die, and when I restart, I don't have anything that I didn't have before.
Right.
I may have access to some new power-ups, but they're random when they show up and whatever. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm no better than I was before, so what is the point? How do I ever get better? But so much of it, at least in this game, is just...
It's like Demon Souls.
It's just getting better at it. Yeah, you learn the pattern. Every time you die, you kind of...
Like the red and the orange guys and the group don't scare me as much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just go in like running through guns blazing and
like
stuff.
But I hate this game.
But you kind of learn with every death, you kind of just...
Hades is much easier, James says. Thank God.
Really? Okay, well, good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm loving it, though. I would think by next week's episode, I will have beaten it. Probably not the platinum, but I think I'll beat it by next week. I may beat it on this run. I'm feeling pretty good about this run right now.
Well, by next week, maybe I have beaten Biome 2.
You'll beat Biome 2. You may struggle with 3. 2 is not that bad.
Yeah. So when I beat 2 and I die, when I go back to 1, is it clear which world is 2 and which is 3, or do you not know until you get there? Like, is there something with a circle symbol that...
So the objective thing on the map will point you to how to get right back to 3.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
But if you go to a room with like the 90% circle over the door, 1, you'll go in there and be like, oh, this is the room that takes me to the desert. Planet. So you know that's the wrong one. Okay. So if you find the other door with the thing over it, that's the one that takes you to 3. Okay. But that'll also be the one that your objective is pointing to. So yeah, it'll be obvious.
Okay, cool.
But I would not recommend going straight there. You don't need to go through 2. I mean, when I finally beat 3, I went through 1 and 2 minus the bosses. You should at least go through 1 every time. Okay. If you can get to 3 right away, just don't yet. Well, go through the rest of 1 and then come back and then go to 3.
That's what was so weird. So I think I beat Freaky on my 5th try.
I think I beat him on my fourth or fifth.
I think it was fifth try. There were 2 tries yesterday when I was just bored, and I was like, I went through like 2 rooms, and then here he is. I was like,
yeah.
All right, well, whatever. Here we go. Yeah. And I just got, I got him down. I always got like at least 1 life bar and half of another down, even when I just had my base pistol. Oh, does your base weapon ever change, or is it always the pistol?
It gets, well.
Do I ever start with like a level 4 pistol or something?
When you starting from biome 4, you start with your, what's it called? Proficiency at level 15.
Holy crap.
So basically you find level 15, 16, maybe 17 weapons from the and you start with a level 15 pistol. But
all the enemies are insane.
Yeah, so it's not if you start with a level 1, you would just die immediately. So it doesn't really help you all that much.
Right.
Because the enemies are just that much more difficult. But yes, you do. Once you get to level 4 or biome 4, you start with level 15 proficiency.
Interesting.
So, but if you didn't, you would just get destroyed.
Yeah, I would last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun talking about Housemarque. Sean.
Yes.
I didn't mean to say Housemarque. I meant Returnal. Do you want to get to the news of the week?
Let's do it.
This episode is called Welcome to the Family for a reason. And that, above all things else, is because John Tingley is here. But second of all, Sony has finally made a move, and they have acquired Housemarque. This comes from Push Square. Sony has announced the acquisition of Returnal developer Housemarque. Confirmed in a PlayStation blog post, PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hultz explains how the studio is capable of making titles that resonate with the PlayStation community. Quote, "This addition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque." End quote. Ilari Queen, I heard his name on a podcast, now I can't remember. Kuitinen. Ilari K, co-founder and managing director of Housemarque, adds, quote, "We are so excited to finally join the PlayStation Studios family. This gives our studio a clear future and a stable opportunity to continue delivering on gameplay-centric approaches, while still experimenting with new methods of narrative delivery and pushing the boundaries of this modern art form. Locally here in Helsinki, this also means that we will officially expand the PlayStation family to growing industry hub and secure the legacy of the oldest game studio in Finland," end quote. Mr. K then adds that Sony's purchase of the company allows Housemarque to grow further in stature and show that what the team can do without any limitations. Quote, "We can't wait to show everyone what will be in store in the coming years, and we hope to usher in more lasting memories and exhilarating titles for the next quarter century and beyond," end quote. To expand on this also comes from Push Square. Herman Hulse talked about Sony's approach to acquisitions. Sony's overdue acquisition of Housemarque today has opened, last week, the speculation of an imminent arms race between industry titans, but PlayStation Studios boss Herman Hulse doesn't see things that way. Despite Microsoft's relatively recent buyout of Bethesda, the Japanese giant believes last week's news is a natural extension of a long-running allegiance with a Returnal developer, which spans all the way back to the PS3 days. Quote, "We're very selective about the developers that we bring in," Hulse told GQ, referring to its purchase of Insomniac Games in 2019, another long-term partner dating back to Spyro the Dragon on PS1. Quote, "I'm always looking for people that have a similar set of values, similar creative ambitions, and work well with our team that we can further invest in and help grow as creators. It's not like we're going around and just making random acquisitions." End quote. I'm a fanboy, but Hulse expanded. They're very, very targeted acquisitions of teams that we know well. The amount of collaboration between our external development group and Housemarque on the technical side, the production management side, and even on the creative side has been so deep. So for us, it just makes so much sense to do that, end quote. So why has it taken so long? Ilari Kittenden says, quote, "Obviously, this is not something you do overnight, and my team have been working on this for quite a while, but obviously we didn't want to distract the core group at Housemarque that's been working to get this amazing title, Returnal, out." So, a couple other things about Housemarque joining the family. In a Famitsu interview, it was revealed that acquisition talks, and this is kind of what Mr. K was talking about there, acquisition talks started back in 2020, but they got delayed so that the studio could finish the work on Returnal, not Returnal.
Returnal.
Also, the studio will be expanded, so Sony's going to put more money into them. Also, the next game is planned to, quote, go beyond Returnal, with tight gameplay still being the focus. Also came out that Housemarque did have offers from, quote, big players in the sector from China, Sweden, and the U.S., end quote. To me, this just makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we're going to cover it later.
We will.
Okay. I'm excited. So, forgive me, but what else has Housemarque done besides Returnal and...
They did, I think it was Dead Nation, Alien Nation.
See, I missed both of those.
Matterfall. I did the demos. They weren't as good. Resogun is what we're thinking of, which is perfect. Super Stardust HD. Super Stardust HD.
To me, this is all basically because of how good Returnal has done. I think.
Correct. Well, it's that, and it's also that, like, they have every game that I almost said Bluepoint. Housemarque has put out since like 2010 has been on a PlayStation console. They did a mobile game in around 2010. I forget, it was like Farron's or something. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But they did a mobile game then, but everything else they've released since then, they were essentially already kind of like Insomniac with Spider-Man and Ratchet and everything.
It's just official.
This is like, let's put a ring on it. And this also lets me think that, like, I don't know how well Returnal has sold, but this has to be that they're seeing either like social engagement or sales that we don't know yet or something. They're saying Returnal is the real deal. They don't just do arcade shooters. This is awesome. We got to lock these guys up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. Resogun was fun. I never played it nearly as much as you did, but the little I played of it, it was fun. But if that was the kind of game that Housemarque made and that's what they were known for, I'd be like, okay, I mean, cool. But having experienced Returnal,
yeah,
I'm like, okay, this is the kind of game that, yeah, I want Sony to lock up for the future. Yeah. So I'm all for it. I love it.
The only thing, so they say that their big games, their next games are going to be, they're going to go beyond Returnal. And I'm like, I get it. But hopefully, and I'm not the first person to say this, but hopefully, like, Sony can say, look, we're going to funnel more money. And I think they only have like 80 people right now. Sony's going to expand that. They said the studio's going to grow. That's awesome. I would love to have a big team work on Returnal 2 or whatever their next game. They don't do sequels, but maybe whatever their next AAA blockbuster game like Returnal is.
Yeah.
And then have a small 20, 30 people like, I mean, I know Resogun's perfect. But make Resogun 2. Just give me more Resogun. Resogun Plus. I don't care what you call it. But like,
yeah,
like I don't want them to just. And they remember there was an interview 2 or 3 years ago where they said, like, we tried doing arcade shooters. We did everything we could. Arcade is dead. And I was like, oh. But now I'm playing Returnal. I'm like, well, okay. But can you do that too? You know. So I don't know. This makes all the sense in the world. There are 2 acquisitions that Sony could make that are completely obvious. One is now done. The other one maybe. We'll get to that in a second. But first, Sony also announced that they have acquired Nixxes. Nixxes. Have you ever heard of Nixxes?
I have not.
I have not either. So this is what Herman Hull said. Nixxes will be a strong asset for everyone across PlayStation Studios, helping our teams focus on the most important goal, which is to create unique PlayStation content at the best possible quality. Apparently, Nixxes also... Now, see, I saw a headline that said that Nixxes helped on the development of Killzone Shadowfall, but I think that was wrong. Because I heard Colin say there was actually Killzone... whatever the Vita game was. It's supposed to be really good, that I should probably buy before the store shuts down. Shadowfall was the PS3 launch game, or the PS4 launch game, sorry. And I can't remember what the Vita game was. I think it was actually the Vita game that they helped out on.
Yeah.
But then Colin tweeted that Nixxes is a port house and a support studio. They're very good when it comes to like technical stuff with whatever. They have a long track record of working with Square Enix. They've worked on Tomb Raider games, porting them to PC, this, that, and the other. And I think it's pretty obvious at this point that what this means is Because essentially all this company has done for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years is port games to PC. We're going to get more. And let me just say, I love PlayStation. I'm okay with this. We're going to get more PlayStation games going to PC.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like that. I don't know why else they would acquire them. Some people are like, ooh, they're going to emulate everything from the PS3 and bring it back to the PS5. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. No. That would be more the job for another company that we'll talk about here in a second. But can you think of anything else that this Nixxes that I can't believe I've never heard of them? And it was so funny, like, obviously it makes sense to do a blog post about Housemarque, but like acquiring Nixxes, it was just like, it was a SIE. It was not on Twitter, wasn't it? It was just for investors. Hey, we acquired Nixxes.
I mean, it does seem kind of weird, especially after Mr. Hulst was just like, yeah, we don't just go buying companies willy-nilly, but then
Killzone Mercenaries. Who? Thank you, John.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know.
I need to buy that.
Great. It means nothing to me, but
yeah,
cool.
But a funny thing happened this week. PlayStation Japan, when it was announced that Sony had purchased Housemarque, PlayStation Japan tweeted out, "Welcome to the family, Housemarque." And they tweeted an image that said PlayStation Studios, Bluepoint, and where Celine, right?
Yeah.
Where Celine was, you see an image of Demon Souls. They immediately took it down. But it's pretty clear at this point that Sony is going to do the other obvious move and buy Bluepoint. Yeah. Metal Gear! It's happening. It's happening. It's freaking happening.
Okay.
It's happening. We got him. We got Metal Gear. We got Metal Gear. Sorry for your ears, but I'm a little excited right now.
We're clearly going to continue to get remakes of games on the PS5.
That is great.
Why you think
Can
that
you guys
means
still hear us?
Metal Gear Solid 3? I don't know.
I didn't say Metal Gear Solid 3. I said Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
There are rumors going around that they're actually going to remake the entire trilogy. Like substantiated like I say this with all the air quotes. I hurt my back.
Preaching to the choir here. I would love that. Because if there's any game or games that could benefit from a remake, it's Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. Like those games, I'm sorry, they don't hold up. Control, gameplay.
I know. I know.
They're pretty bad. Now, I don't think the Fox engine is the right choice. Like, I don't think that worked well for 5. That's not going to work for 1, 2, and 3. Like,
they're not open world. They're very
really
contained.
That game.
Yeah,
but
see, I don't. Again,
but Hideo's going to Microsoft.
Shut it. We will get to that as the last news item because I don't want to talk about this bull crap right now. But I think it's obvious that Sony was obviously going. They're going to buy Bluepoint. Yeah. Clearly, they already played their hand. Although I will say, so after this, a couple days ago, Bluepoint did change their Twitter bio to say, quote, Bluepoint Games is a fully independent, self-funded studio. That doesn't mean anything because as of right now, yeah, they are. Yeah. Like, and also, who knows who controls their Twitter handle? Like, who cares?
Right.
Clearly, Sony is going to buy them, and that is amazing. Now, Konami is clearly, as we'll get to here in a little bit, opening up their IP. I gotta think, what else could it be? Like, honestly, it could be Resistance. No, I mean, I would love that. Trust me, I would love that, but not more than Metal Gear. It's Metal Gear. If you say, what game do you want Bluepoint to remake Nixxes? The answer that everyone would
if you
say
go back
is
to
Metal
their
Gear.
tweet from, a year or two ago.
I can't even remember it. Yeah, it was on a dark, hollow night. Well, I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, I mean, Metal Gear was clearly
But
one of the...
But they also referenced Castlevania, Symphony of the Night.
And Silent Hills, I think. And
yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute.
And
I don't
there's
think
like 10 or 12 games.
Bluepoint's not working on Silent Hills. I think Bluepoint is either going to... And
That's
everybody's
Blue
like,
Box.
oh, why can't they make their own game? They don't want to make their own game.
I don't want them to make their own
I don't
game.
want them either. Like, they are so...
They're fantastic at what they do.
Yes.
Just keep doing that.
Like, Shadow of the Colossus, I never played the original. I liked the remake. I think I was just bought into the hype too much. It was good. 7.5, 8. No, 7.5. 7 to 7.5. But Demon's Souls was like, it blew my mind. Now, some people are like, oh, they're going to buy them. They're going to do Bloodborne.
Bloodborne does not... I would love a Bloodborne
all it needs
remake.
Is just a fresh coat of paint and 60
Bloodborne
frames. It needs a patch. That's all it needs. And then move on, right?
Yeah.
But do we both agree that Bluepoint is definitely getting bought? Button.
I mean, they're definitely getting button.
Yeah.
Button.
Button. I'm so happy. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, it's happening. It's happening. And I don't care. It's happening. I don't know if it's 3. It's 1, 2, and 3. But again, actually, my dream come true. You know, obviously, the games that need it more are Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
Well, the issue, though, is having not actually played either of the originals, both Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls were basically remasters. They were not like reimaginings. That's what Metal Gear needs. These games don't just need a fresh coat of paint.
No,
they need to be rebuilt.
But I will say that
Bluepoint has not done that yet.
The solid games, no, they kind of did that with Shadow more than they did Demon. But if they're going to do Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, that is a full on.
Well, that's
yeah. But I think the solid games you can make it work. Again, like what I've always said is change enemy placements, whatever. Just don't change any of the cutscenes. Make them the same. Make the story the same. This enemy goes there. This
just
whatever.
Take what they did in the pachinko games. Bring it over.
You. So yeah, with the cutscenes.
I'm saying.
All right, Sean. Next up. Apparently, I edited this document as I was banging the table. Sean, are you excited for GTA 6?
Yeah.
Me too. But guess what? You're going to be waiting until 2025, according to IGN and a bunch of other people. Multiple sources suggest that Grand Theft Auto Grand Theft Auto 6 is currently aiming for a release in 2024 or 25. What are you doing? 2024 or 2025. IGN reported that GTA 6 was in development last year, but it was early in development. Last week, industry insider Tom Henderson put a 2024-2025 release date on the project, a timeline which has subsequently been corroborated by Jason Schreier and VGC's Andy Robinson. Both, obviously, they know what they're doing. Henderson added that the game would take place in a modern take on the series' Miami-inspired Vice City, and that the game's map will be altered over time in the same manner as live service games like Fortnite. Details VGC also said it had heard. Of course, as with all rumors, particularly those out of early projects, these details should be taken with a grain of salt and could change over time. If the game did arrive in 2024, that would create a potential 6-year gap in mainline Rockstar releases following 2018's Red Dead Redemption 2, although Red Dead Online was released in 2019. It remains to be seen if Rockstar will have any other new games to fill the gap. Spoiler alert, they won't. But we do know that GTA Online and GTA 5 will be coming as expanded and enhanced new-gen console versions on November 11th this year. I'm going to buy it again. I know I am.
Probably.
You will do. I'm going to make you. I did that. No, you won't. Rockstar has also been promising surprises related to the 20th anniversary of the release of GTA 3, including something related to GTA Online. That anniversary arrives on October 22nd, but Rockstar hasn't made clear what the anniversary content might be. Whatever it turns out to be, GTA 6 will be the first in the series' history as 3D games not to include Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser on GTA's unseen or GTA's unseen mastermind, Leslie Benzies, as part of the development team. I had forgotten about that both of them had left.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was thinking of when I was reading this was John said they need a remake. I think he meant Metal Gear. It is weird that the PS4/Xbox One generation was the first generation to not get its own GTA game. PS1 had GTA 1 and 2. Obviously, PS2 had GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. PS3 had GTA 4 and GTA 5. PS4 and Xbox One got GTA 4 up-res, and now we're going to get GTA 5 up-res. Now we're going to get GTA 5 up-res on PS5. It is weird that we went the entire PS4 Xbox One generation without a new Grand Theft Auto game. That is insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
But what do you think? 2024, 2025?
It doesn't surprise me. That may very well be true. But I'm kind of okay with it. Like, now, if that's true, when did 5 originally come out?
13.
That's 11 years.
11 or 12
This
years.
game better be
the best game ever made.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying they've been working on it since 2013. But
here's my thing. But what do you think about this whole stuff? Because like Schreier said, he's heard this too about this whole evolving map thing. So like,
I don't know.
What
I
like
it.
I don't either.
I don't think things should change other than there's a new building
for online.
That's legit. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah,
or maybe like, there's
online,
this new
like
island
Fortnite,
with like a
whatever.
resort, whatever. Like, okay, but I don't think it should just be this constantly evolving. I don't.
Do you
I don't
think,
like the fact that they're comparing it to Fortnite.
Right.
I think if done the right way, it could be kind of cool, but I don't like the Fortnite comparisons.
In single player, in single player or in multiplayer, I think only multiplayer.
Multiplayer, yeah.
Multiple. You cannot. I don't want like. Oh no! I don't want them to be like, we're in Miami and now this.
A tornado picks you up and takes you to
to Liberty City. Like, I know we don't agree on this, but this is why I'm going to buy GTA 5 again. I've beaten the campaign twice. Actually, no, 3 times. I beat it twice on PS3 and once on PS4. I'm going to buy it again on PS5 because whatever. Unless Horizon's out that same week, then I'll just wait. But I like the single player stuff, especially with 5. Like 4 was a little too raff for me. You know, like, Nico, do you want to go play the dots? I feel like we haven't done this in forever, but I get it, and it was cool, but then it's like, it's so serious, but then you've got Nico with Fabian, whatever his name is, on top of a little moped thing, racing across sidewalks, chasing an old lady or something, and it's like, pick a lane, like, what do you want to do? And I think GTA 5, when it came to the single player aspect, especially switching between those 3 characters, I thought they just nailed it. It was the right balance of like serious, over the top with Trevor, and then Michael was kind of like, Franklin was serious, and like that's the story I connected to the most. Trevor was completely out of left field, and then Michael was kind of in between. He obviously leaning more towards the serious side, but
I think 5, like Vice City, I think is a great setting for a game.
Yes,
but I think 5 up the ante with like you've got like the downtown area, and it's a lot of fun. Then you've got like Hickville with all like the whatever, and then you've got like
the mountains,
like it's
and
just,
the Air Force base.
Just works. I don't know. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Miami, but it seems like you've got Miami,
and
which is Vice City.
Maybe the Keys. That's not near Miami. What am I saying?
And then,
or is it?
What? I mean, not really, but it's not far. Like, they could certainly incorporate that into it, but then it's like, once you leave
it's
Miami,
all city. Yeah.
I don't know. There's like nothing else. I don't see that kind of.
But that's why
I feel like 5 is going to be very hard to top, just based on just the location and the feel of it all.
But I think that's why Liberty City was a good. I don't know what the word is. Like the flip side of Los Santos, because it's like you had the city, you had Long Island, and you had, what I mean, and then you had Jersey. Like it kind of felt like it didn't flow as well as 5 because 5 was just perfect as an open world game goes. It was perfect. I would kind of, even though they just did that in 4, but I mean 4 again. As we sit now, 4 was 13 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm fine if they go back to Liberty City. And especially what another thing I read somewhere else was that they're talking about Vice City being a current day thing, not 80s. I'm like, well, then why even do it? Like Miami now is not.
I don't
Miami
think you can just
80s.
do Vice City again in the 80s.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you could do it, but I don't think they will. I think it'll be present day Miami.
but I don't think it's as cool as like Scarface.
No,
and
it's
stuff.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I can't wait for it, regardless of what it is. But between what they've done with 5 and the amount of time it's apparently going to be in between, they have set the bar impossibly high. Like, I can't wait, but it's going to be tough for this to not disappoint.
The other thing I worry about is that GTA 6 will just be the next GTA Online. Like, it'll be...
I'm totally fine with that.
See, I'm not. I want my single-player story. I don't want, like, just Destiny and raids and, I don't know. I mean, Destiny has a story, I know that. But it's like, I love... I'm repeating myself. But I love GTA stories, and I don't want it to just be GTA Fortnite. It's what GTA 6 ends up being. That'll piss me off. But also,
I get that.
GTA Online should just be GTA Online. And now you add another, like you go from Los Santos and now you can go to the airport and you can fly to Liberty City or Vice City, whatever. That's what it should be. And then you can have a tornado come through and knock down buildings, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
John says they can incorporate swamps and amusement parks. Can you imagine swamps, next-gen swamps, with freaking gators?
And
Anaconda don't want none.
I was gonna say like fan boats and stuff.
Yes,
and that would be fantastic. Yeah, that could be cool.
But give me a single player story. Just give me a single player story. All right, 2 more items, and we're still shooting fireworks here. 2 more items on the news list, and the next 2 kind of bleed together, and I don't know what to think about either of these. But Konami and Bloober team, yes, Bloober, have announced a strategic partnership. This comes from VGC. Konami and Bloober team have signed a new strategic cooperation agreement that will see the companies create games together. The new partnership between the Silent Hill publisher, I wonder why they said that, and the Medium developer will include, quote, jointly developing selected contents and exchanging know-how, end quote, according to a statement released by Bloober team. In a separate press release, Konami said it was excited to work with Bloober team and other highly regarded... It was excited to work with Bloober team and other highly regarded development partners to produce games from existing and new, who cares, IPs. End quote. According to people with, just remember the quote, according to people with knowledge of Bloober's plans, one of the projects it's working on is obviously
Silent Hill.
However, VGC understands that Konami has already outsourced at least one other Silent Hill project to a prominent developer in Japan, and there could be even more developers working on their own projects. Bloober team CEO Piotr Babiano commented on the deal. Quote, it is a historic day for me and the culmination of several years of our work. The fact that such a renowned company as Konami, they're not renowned anymore, has decided to strategically cooperate with the Bloober team means that we have also joined the world's leaders in gaming and become an equal partner for the leading players in this market, end quote. Bloober team said in February that it was working on existing horror IP from a, quote, very famous gaming publisher, fueling speculation it could be reviving Konami's Silent Hill. While the studio did not reveal the identity of the franchise it was working on, Bloober team CEO Piotr Babinenzo told GI.biz he believed it could cause quite a stir once it's revealed. Babinenzo's comments caused fans to speculate the Polish developer could be working on Silent Hill, the Konami horror series that has reportedly been shopped around by their publisher in recent years. The Bloober team knew... Oh, my God, this goes on forever. Obviously, they're working on Silent Hill. The last thing in this thing is this. In addition to Silent Hill, sources said that Konami also had plans to work on Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid games via external companies, but any potential releases are still years away. Obviously, they made the medium. They're making Silent Hill. Right?
I would think so. Yeah.
The interesting thing. So they're working on Castlevania's going to come back. We already know the Advanced Collection is going to come out relatively soon. That's awesome. I cannot wait. You're going to get that, right? I mean, depending on the timing and whatever.
Yeah.
They're working on Castlevania and Metal Gear games. Oh, weird. Also, not only that, there's another Silent Hill game coming. That's weird, because the other one is rumored to be coming from a prominent Japanese publisher. What is the most prominent Japanese publisher that there is? Oh, that would be PlayStation Studios. That would be
What?
abandoned. I don't care what the next news item is. You don't, nothing cancel this out. There is no way you're not telling me that the freaking abandoned game is Silent Hill. Something.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Thank you. But I mean, in all seriousness, without my histrionics, it's Silent Hill. Now, what's going to be interesting is, I got to think if there's two developers doing Silent Hill games, one has to be some kind of a remake or remaster. The other one, I would think, would be a reboot. So who's doing what?
That's a good question.
I got to say, Blue Box Studios is rebooting. They're not doing Silent Hills,
right,
per se. And I'm not sure that it's Kojima anymore, but I'm not going to give it up. But I think they're the ones that are doing a reboot or reimagining of Silent Hill, whereas I think Bloober Team, which I've heard so many people, Game Scoop, Sacred Symbols, other podcasts, they're like, I don't think I've played any of their games. The medium was actually supposed to be pretty decent, I think. But it's like every game that Bloober Team has put out is either like, it's always like around a 65 to a 73. Like some people give it a 10 and some people say it's a 2.
Yeah.
And that is weird to me. So I want Silent Hill to come back, even though have you played Silent Hill?
I've never played it.
I haven't
But
either.
I would play the crap out of a new one.
I would play it in a friggin' heartbeat. But I have no...
Like with what Resident Evil 7 and 8 have done.
Yeah.
They've kind of created the blueprint of like, look, this is what survival horror can... And I don't know that Silent Hill was ever better than Resident Evil, but it was
I don't think so.
probably more...
It was better than 5 and 6, I assume.
Survival horror.
Yeah.
Like you get like 10 bullets.
Yeah.
Like
the entire game.
there's almost no action. You shoot when you absolutely need to, and that's it. Other than that, it's just surviving. So the blueprint is out there on how to make good, like, terrifying games.
Yeah.
If they do it right, I'm all about it. I don't care if they remake it, reboot it, make it just a true sequel. I don't care. It means nothing to me. But I think a Silent Hill game in this generation would be fantastic.
I agree.
In any shape or form.
It's obviously it's Silent Hill. There was also the thing way back when, earlier this year, way back when, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, the guy who's the composer for Silent Hill was in an interview with some podcast in Japan, I think it was, where he's like, yeah, I can't tell you what I'm working on, but you're it's what you're hoping for. And then they took the interview down. I was like, obviously he's making like Silent Hill is clearly coming back. This is what Konami should do. They should not try to make it. The last game they made, well, 2 games, was Metal Gear Survive, which we will never, ever, ever talk about. And Contra, what was it called? Rogue Core? The weird twin stick one that it came out like 2 years ago. It was top-down twin stick. It was not Contra at all. Exactly. Yeah. And you shouldn't remember it. They should not make games anymore. They should license it to people that know what the F they're doing. And Bloober Team, while they might not be like Capcom, they should have licensed it to Capcom, honestly. But they're not going to do Silent Hill and Resident Evil, so whatever. But one more item on the list, Sean. I don't even... This comes from VentureBeat. Hideo Kojima and Microsoft have signed a letter of intent that states the two parties intend to work out the details on a publishing agreement for a new Xbox game, according to sources familiar with the matter. This is a key step in the negotiations between the Metal Gear Solid creator and the Xbox company. This signifies that both parties have agreed to a generalized deal while lawyers continue hashing out the finer points. Microsoft and Kojima's teams have spent months discussing a possible partnership, and now it's more likely than ever that those conversations will bear fruit. They will be rotten. Editorializing. The deal is so close that Microsoft has begun preparing for what Kojima will need to make his new game. Last week, Microsoft announced that it hired Portal and Left 4 Dead developer Kim Swift to oversee partnerships for cloud-based games. Swift most recently worked at Google's cloud gaming service, Stadia. Oh, winner! Microsoft hired her with the purpose of assisting in making Kojima's cloud game a reality. As for what Kojima's game actually is, few people know. The point of that partnership is to unlock the creativity of Kojima Productions using Microsoft's technology as opposed to greenlighting a specific pitch. So they don't know what the hell he's doing. Cool. And then what about other publishers like Sony? Well, it's very unlikely that Microsoft's deal would prohibit Kojima from working with other companies. For now, Kojima Productions continues to work with Sony on Death Stranding Director's Cut for PlayStation 5. I have seen these rumors going on forever. But this hurt.
So, okay, I'm confused. If it's true and he's going to work, well, worst case scenario, he's working exclusively with
Phil.
Yeah. That means either A, you don't get to play his game, or B, you need to buy an Xbox to play his game. You've pretty much, as far as I can tell, have already decided you're going to get a Series S.
But now I'm pissed off.
So
I'm not going to get it.
You're already going to have it. You have the ability to play it. What does it matter to you if it's on Sony
me,
or Xbox?
Kojima...
Because you don't think whatever he's working on will be as good because it's on Xbox?
No. It's not that. It's just so weird to me. It's almost like when you say like a band sells out. You know what I mean? Like Kojima has been loyal to Sony his entire career. Now, obviously, 5 came out on Xbox One, Xbox. What the fuck called?
What?
No, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, PS3, PS4. But like Metal Gear, when you think of Kojima, what what brand do you think of other than
Microsoft.
Konami? I hate you. You know you're full of shit. Like,
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, yeah, but
it's like. But I'm also mad at Sony because, like, are they just mad that, like, Death Stranding wasn't what they wanted? Like, again, to me, I go back and forth, but I will now say definitively that was my game of the year. Resident Evil 2 was freaking amazing, but Death Stranding, if you saw it all the way through, it was unlike anything I've ever played before. Doesn't mean that in my top 50 games of all time it would be above Resident Evil 2. I know it makes no sense. Just let me be me. It's okay. It just hurts because, like...
But who do you fault?
Sony. Barkley also. I fault Sony. Like, I don't know. But now, again, like he says here, there's nothing. It doesn't mean
he won't work with Sony in the future.
Right. Xbox Game Studios is not buying Kojima Productions. They said, so Grubb also said both sides are interested in working together if the criteria is met. There's no indication that Microsoft will invest into KGP. The project will be cloud-based, and the deal is unlikely to fall apart at this point. So it's not, they're not like.
I feel like this is, I mean, I don't really care one way or another, but to me, this reeks of Microsoft is going to get something like Metal Gear Rising. Like some weird offshoot.
I hope they get Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, like I don't think they're going to get Metal Gear Solid 6. I don't think they're going to get Metal Gear Solid Remake. I don't think they're going to get Death Stranding 2. I don't think they're going to get some.
No, at this
they're
point,
going to get some
Kojima's
weird,
not going to do anything with them, right?
Right, like there may be some game with the Kojima name on it, but it's going to be the equivalent of like a Metal Gear Rising,
or
I think.
To be honest, Death Stranding.
Maybe.
But
I don't think it's going to be something that, I don't know.
It's not like now, I would be depressed if they said Xbox is exclusively publishing Konami licensed
It would
IPs.
be like if Capcom says, guess what? We're going to have a Resident Evil title exclusive to Xbox.
Or Street Fighter
It's not going to be
6.
Resident Evil 9.
Well,
it's going to be like Resident Evil
Mercenaries,
Gun
whatever.
Star Heroes, whatever it was called.
Well, that would be amazing. That sounds amazing.
Gun Survivor, whatever it's called. 3. Like, it's not going to be a mainline game. I don't know. I don't know.
But also, it does not. It again, he's not being bought by, or not he. You can't buy a man. His studio is not being bought by Microsoft or Xbox.
Right.
So this still leaves open the door that he is abandoned. I know I am really grasping at straws at this point, and I sound like Python, Cellcon, and all those guys when Metal Gear Solid 5 was in the lead up with the Gray Fox stuff. But all this means is he's going to make a game for Xbox. Obviously, he's working on... at this point, you have to assume the Death Stranding director's cut is pretty much done. What it's going to be, who knows? But do you think this does anything to the Blue Box stuff?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't change my mind in the slightest.
And what is your mind? It's my brain. I still say there's more than meets the eye with Blue Box.
I would be shocked if this were all just some... I still say, look, there may not be anything to it, but if there's not anything to it, this guy, whatever his name is... Hassan, yeah, is a genius, and he is going to be the next Hideo. Like, if he's not in partnership with him, or if this is all just like something he came up with, more power to him.
Well,
my hat's
also,
off. That's
he's probably
awesome.
also screwed himself beyond belief.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think either he's done what he's done on purpose, and he is just the next Hideo.
Yeah.
Or it's absolutely a cover-up, and yes, we're all going to find out this is some kind of
in
partnership.
August.
There's no way it is a coincidence.
It's just
that's what I'll say.
Yes, yeah. So John writes in and says, it's supposed to be a game that takes advantage of cloud computing. Sony is sadly lacking that at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the only thing I will say, though, John and Sean, is remember, we found out probably almost a year ago at this point that Sony is kind of partnering with Microsoft. They're going to be doing something with Azure. I think it was Azure. It has to be Azure. But they announced like sometime last year, who knows, time's a flat circle, especially with COVID, but that they were going to be kind of partnering with with Microsoft when it comes to cloud services.
Yeah.
So this could be one of those things. Obviously, if they're just signing him now, this game's going to come out in 2024 at the earliest. We might have Game Pass on PS5 by then, who knows? And also, if they're partnering on cloud stuff, and this is some super experimental Kojima thing, which John, if you, I don't know how long you've been listening to us, but Kojima is my dude. Like, and remember his weird interview again, and I go back with the Blue Box stuff. Jeff with his stupid. eat and grin. When somebody asked him about Blue Box Game Studios and he couldn't stop smiling, that dude knows what the hell's going on. I love you, Jeff. But also Kojima, when he was just doing the interview with Jeff, when he was talking about, well, when I make my next game and COVID's made him rethink this and how we interact with people and how does he interact with the social stuff and whatever. I kind of think, as much as I love Kojima, like, dude, just take a step back. But, like, I can see the cloud playing into whatever the hell he's planning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we shall see.
I don't know. All right, now it's time for the wrap-up, Sean. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is real, and it is out this August. It will include all DLC as well as the Iki Island story expansion. You can transfer your saves from PS4, and you can Something's in my house? Oh, my wife. And you can upgrade to the Director's Cut for money. Did you see how this works?
No.
Okay, so PS4, if you upgrade from the PS4 regular version to the PS4 Director's Cut, $20. PS4 to PS5 Director's Cut, $30. But you can also just download, I think if you have the PS4 version and you want the DLC, like the Iki Island stuff, I think it's $20 or maybe it's 10, and then it's really confusing. But
So what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm going to buy the Director's Cut.
30?
I'm going to upgrade you. And I'm going to beat it, and I'm going to get the Platinum. I'm finally going to go
Good.
back. But this game does not seem like it needs a PS5 version. Like you saw me play it on my PS5. It's how can it look any better?
I mean, I played it on my PS5.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is correct.
But yes, it's beautiful. I mean, I assume it'll just look that much better. But yeah, it certainly doesn't need as good as the PS4 version looked on the PS5.
I'm sure it'll look better.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. The PS5 version, however, will have Japanese lip sync, which apparently somebody was saying they watched the video and was like, because they're using this AI that only the PS5 can do it. It's like, it's not good, but whatever. Japanese lip sync, haptic feedback, adaptive trick,
Adaptive.
Adaptive. 3D audio, 4K resolution. They will be targeting 60 frames per second. You friggin' better hit 60 frames per second. I can play the PS4 version at 60 frames per second.
Going back to the beginning, because time is a flat circle. The other day, I played Returnal with my headset for the first time. Holy
I haven't done it yet.
crap.
Really?
I get
Were you
it.
freaking out?
It's unbelievable.
Okay.
You need to try it. Yeah.
I will. Both versions will also have combat lock-on. Thank you. Some people are like, oh, you're succumbing to the noobs. I'm like, no, I want to be able to lock on to enemies. Like, that makes me want to go back. You can also hide your quiver. And there will be a new Legends mode as well. Herman Hulse in interviews also talked about more director's cuts in the future. So now you see why this is getting a director's cut. Death Stranding's get a director's cut. Obviously, Last of Us is going to get a director's cut. Now, what I wonder is if the Last of Us director's cut is going to include factions or whatever they end up calling the multiplayer thing, or if that's still going to be a standalone thing. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to do any DLC because I don't know what you can do at that point. No spoilers, but I don't know what else you can do unless you do something between the first two games. I guess as a certain character, whatever.
Right.
I forgot this game was even coming out, but Skyward Sword got a new trailer that shows off quality of life improvements.
It's like 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
I should be so much more excited for a
I can't wait to get my socks.
Zelda
as part
game.
of my pre-order
I
of my
know.
keychain. There will be skippable cutscenes,
Okay.
optional help from Fi.
Foe.
Yes. You can fast forward dialogue. So I guess what it means is like they showed. Did you watch the trailer? It shows Fi Fo, and it's like, do you want to know what this is? Do you want a hint? Do you want a puzzle hint? Do you want this? I'm like, I probably need that because I'm gonna be so confused trying to go slash because I ain't doing motion. You can fast forward dialogue. The item info doesn't pop up every time you pick something up. You pick up
That's
Ruby
good.
for the first time, and it goes, oh, you got one rupee. You don't spend it all in one place. Next time you pick up a rupee, it's just, thank you.
Yeah.
Skippable cutscenes. There is auto-saving. There is enhanced frame rate and button layout. It definitely looked like a solid 60 frames per second in the trailer, so that's good.
Yeah.
Todd Howard said this week that Elder Scrolls 6, which was announced 3 years ago at E3, is in the design phase. Go to hell with your $7.5 billion. I don't give a crap, Microsoft. Take all the Bethesda games. Just get the hell out of my face. I hope Starfield sucks at this point. God. You announced this game 3 years ago with a logo and mountains. And now you're like, oh, we're still in the design phase, which means you've done nothing. God. I wish, I hate that it, like, I would like to play Doom 3, whatever it's going to be called. But I hate Bethesda. I don't give a crap. I'm so pissed off they can just go to hell. My nose did a noise. That was not it at all. So the rumored Dead Space revival is apparently a full remake of the first game, and EA is citing Resident Evil 2 remake and the success that Capcom had with that as to how they're going to get this done. That's good. I've never played Dead Space, but like they're going to go. I've heard it's awesome. And if they're going to go the RE2 remake version with it, then okay, I'll probably be there. But there's also rumors that they're doing this and they're also going to reboot it. So,
yeah.
Remedy has confirmed that a new bigger budget Control game is coming in the future, a full sequel, as well as a multiplayer game called Project Condor, which will be a 4-player co-op PvE game. I assume like Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood, one of those kinds of games. Phil Spencer said this week that Halo Infinite won't, quote, make or break Halo as a brand, and that, quote, Halo will still be here 10 years from now, end quote. I would hope so. Like, and he said he doesn't want the development team to have that kind of pressure. I get it, but like,
but it's there regardless.
They have the pressure no matter what you say, Phil. It's
yeah.
Freaking Halo. This is not like Resistance 4. Like, This is Halo Infinite. Like, we've seen it for 3 years now. You delayed it at least a year. I don't think it's coming out this year because you dated Starfield, but you won't even date this game. Are you kidding me? No matter what Phil says, like, it has to hit. And I hope it hits when I play it on my Series S.
No comment.
And Kojima's game. Australia has given a rating for a new mystery id Software game called Project 2021B. No, this is real. It's an M-rated game with online interactivity. Now, I don't know if it's a real game because also Doom Eternal was announced that they were getting a single-player horde mode instead of the planned multiplayer invasion mode. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Whatever it is, I'm guessing if it's an actual game, we ain't playing it at PS5, 4, 3, or 2. Streets of Rage 4, we finally got a date for the Mr. X Nightmare DLC. It's out July 15th. John Bernardo, let's go. The Persona series has
tell me about your arms.
I got bombs for arms. The Persona series has now sold over 15 million copies worldwide. Thank you, John. We'll see you next week, bud.
Later.
Sorry, I think you already signed off. Sorry, I just saw now. The PS Vita is slowly dying. The message functionality has been completely disabled as of now. If you had any messages, they're gone. Your app, it's gone. Can you send messages? No. Everything is gone. The Vita, it will be gone. The former head of BioWare, Casey Hudson, has revealed a new project. I wrote that wrong. He's created a new studio called Humanoid Studios, and he's making a new game. Loki's coming to Fortnite. Games with Gold were announced for July. I mean, PlayStation wins this month, but it ain't already about that. Games with Gold gets Planet Alpha, Rock of Ages 3. That was like back and to the left. Conquer, Live and Reloaded. Good game. Midway Arcade Origins. That was like pre-Mortal Kombat. PS Plus for July. A Plague Tale Innocence, as we talked about last week. Blops 4, which is online only. And the amazing wrestling game, WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to Plague Tale. I don't know much about it, but I feel like I've heard lots of good things.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, but the fact that it's a native PS5 version, I'm like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll at least add it to my library, and I'll go over there.
I'll add them all to my library.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 240. This was a lively, fun episode, as I thought it would be. Thank you guys so much for being here for 240 episodes. And until the next time, Shawan, go ahead and give us some coffee talk.
Thank you for playing.